The siege of Gaza enters its 8th month, and this morning the Israeli army ordered the evacuation of central Rafah before entering the last unoccupied corner of the Gaza Strip, a corner flooded with refugees driven south by the destruction of the rest of Gaza. Israel has threatened this time after time against the opposition of its Western backers. We have heard from Gaza journalist Sami Abu Salem throughout the siege of Gaza and indeed before the Hamas invasion of October 7, 2023. Sami is the ultimate embedded journalist. Not only is he struggling to protect, shelter and feed his wife, mother and 4 children, but he continues to file regular reports from Gaza. I'm Mike Joseph, a Welsh journalist, and I've worked with Sami for nearly 2 years now to understand his family's life since his mother was expelled from her village in 1948 by my own uncle's Jewish brigade. Last September, we recorded a long discussion over a Zoom link with his home in Jabalia in the north of Gaza. In February, surviving now in a tent in Rafah, he vividly described the dilemma of all Gazans displaced to the last town before the closed Egyptian border fence.
We thought if there is an invasion into Rafah, what to do if we were here? To go to the Egyptian borders? Maybe the Israelis will push people to the Egyptian borders. There is a horrible thing. Even to stay in Rafah, which means that we are guilty, we put our kids in danger. We may die or they may die, or to leave to other place, but the other place would be bombed. Nobody knows. Everybody is walking and looking at the eye, looking into the eyes of the other in the street, and when somebody shake hands with the other, how are you? Are you staying in Rafah or leaving? The answer, I don't know, like what happened with me today. Some people who I know, they are from north. Sami, are you staying in Rafah or leaving? I said, I don't know. And they don't know also.
Sami was in my thoughts as we learnt a day or two ago that Israeli troops were occupying the Rafah crossing into Egypt, effectively sealing Rafah off into a ghetto within a ghetto. I messaged him briefly with words of support, and my timing was fortunate.
Thank you very much. I am lucky that you are connected while I'm near the hospital. I'm coming here to charge my mobile and my power bank.
Israeli drones there, eyes in the sky, and killer drones. Constant sound of life and death in Gaza.
I am very busy looking for a place to stay as a shelter because I'm going to evacuate Rafah. Displacement number 8. I'm leaving Rafah, going to Khan Yunis. I went to Khan Yunis yesterday and I looked for a place I didn't find because most of the city is destroyed. Even the owners of the houses are not living in. The houses are empty because they are destroyed. I moved to Deir al-Balah. Deir al-Balah is very horrible. Actually, it is a small city. But tens of thousands of people are pouring into the city, renting everything, houses, apartments, stores, tents. Now Deir al-Balah became like Rafah.
Sami is on the move again and still reporting after months living under bombing and siege. I remember when we first heard that word, siege, in this war. It was 2 days after Hamas invaded Israel last October when we heard Israel's defense minister Yoav Gallant speak. We were still then absorbing the horror of the Hamas massacre, and now I heard a new horror in his words. I have ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no water, no fuel, everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we are acting accordingly. Surely Gallant knew that starvation of civilians as a method of warfare is prohibited in international law. What is more, there can be no exceptions on grounds of military necessity. He must know, as a wartime leader, that he incriminates himself in any future court of international law. If he spoke in the heat of the moment, perhaps a calmer statement of achievable war aims would soon follow. Not so, because Defence Minister Gallant has been true to his word. In Gaza, electricity, food, fuel, water and sanitation are non-existent or desperately short, and what exists comes from some pressure from the West. And the people? They are being treated as human animals. As Gallant spoke, Israel was placing Gaza under a siege which continues to this day 7 months later, which is why Sami now reports as he does.
Actually, there are two main roads who connect Rafah with the rest of the Gaza Strip. Salah ad-Din Road in the middle from north to south, and the coastal road from north to south. Both roads are very overcrowded because they are full of trucks, tractors, vehicles, buses, cargoes, and cars pulled by donkeys and horses, full of them, who are carrying families to the north, in north of Rafah, a new Nakba, or a new displacement right now. In the streets, some people do not find transportation. They are carrying some stuff and walking. While they are walking, they drop some stuff because it becomes heavy more and more. They just carry the very essential things. Regarding those who are on a truck or something like that, or transportation, they are carrying the most important thing: water tank, empty of course, flour, gas canister, and some furniture, some clothes. And some people are carrying their carrying their tents. They dismantle their tents and looking for a place in Rafah or Khan Younis to install the tent to stay in, and it is cost too much money. Imagine that from Rafah to Khan Younis, about 10 to 15, maybe 12 kilometers, you need $2 to pay, $200, sorry. From Rafah to Deir al-Balah, about 25 kilometers, maybe 20 kilometers. If you have a truck, you have to pay about $500. It's unbelievable, and people have no money, including me. I don't have money. I have some money in my bank account, but I cannot withdraw because there is no cash money in Gaza. So every single step has its own dilemma.
Long months of siege have immiserated a people. Once again, they are reduced to fleeing, they know not where, by truck, by donkey, on foot, dropping their last remaining possessions when they can no longer carry them. Not luxuries, but the basic means of survival: clothes, gas, flour, water. This is not collateral damage, those weasel words for the supposedly unintended death of civilians in wartime. It is the stated military policy of Israel, armed by the West.
I met a woman who said, I'm living in a mosque, I'm not leaving Rafah. I told her why. She said, because I don't have money to pay for the truck, and I don't have money to buy a tent, and I have nothing. And even my home, according to her, in Khan Younis is totally destroyed. So where to go? She said, yeah, the mosque is risky, but at least there is a place to use toilet and to find some food from charities. Some people are in the street, staying in the street, waiting in the sun. It is a little bit hot here. They are waiting for transportation, but they could not find. There is a car now moving. You hear it? There is mattresses on the top of the car with the black plastic water tank. It's of course empty. The main dynamo is water. I'm looking for a place, and I have my conditions. I need water. That's it. I'm not looking for electricity or for good view or whatever. Just water. New Nakba, Mike. It's a new Nakba. This is number 8. The 8th time I'm displacing.
Without electricity, Sami will no longer be able to report his testimony to the world. But without water, Sami will no longer be able to keep his family alive. Where is he going now? And when will we hear him again?
All of this happening, by the way, while the drone, if you hear it, make us angry. And artillery and fighters, they are hitting Rafah. They said they are targeting just east of Rafah, and they asked people east of Rafah to evacuate. But in fact, they are targeting every place. Not intensively right now, but from time to time there are some bombing. Maybe an hour ago there is somebody who was evacuated to the hospital. He has been killed in an airstrike by a drone, according to medical sources based on witnesses. So yesterday while we were sitting here in the same place, shrapnel came to our tent. So you might hear a news. The news says that I have been killed or wounded by accident, or anybody from my kids. I'm looking for a car. It is Jeep Sportage Kia with tents on the roof. Imagine the contradiction. A very big Jeep, a very big car, very luxurious, which means that the man is very rich here in Gaza. This car, the vehicle I have just seen, maybe $50,000 or $60,000, something like this. I mean, before war. I mean, the driver is rich, but he is putting 2 tents on the roof of his vehicle. What a contradiction.
Sami, still the journalist, sharing in words what he sees with his eyes, showing us the tragic ironies of life under siege, where rich men and beggars finally achieve equality in poverty. Here's a posh car. It belongs to someone well used to enjoying all that money can buy. Today it is loaded with the owner's only means of shelter, 2 tents. And in the same passage he mentions incidentally, almost casually, how we might hear that he has been killed or wounded by accident, or his kids. Journalism can take you to some hard places. I've been a journalist now for 54 years. The troubles in Northern Ireland, the October War in the Middle East, Germany and Ukraine, in and after the Cold War. But I have never heard a journalist and colleague foresee his own violent death. For once, and on this matter only, I hope that Sami is wrong.